Who do you trust, Katie? Who do you trust, your kid or your boyfriend?
I trust kids, but
They know.
because I was always raised as like from the mouths of babes. That's how you just know.
They're
that,
always so
you know?
honest, right?
Yes. And so I have a friend who is questioning if it's a sign if she should ditch the guy she's dating with because of her daughter's reaction to him. So she's been dating this guy, I think like 5 months or something like that. And she has a 3-year-old daughter that she has introduced him to. And when they first met, like her daughter's first time meeting this guy, her daughter spit on him.
How old is she again?
3.
She spat on him?
Yeah, it was like,
Like Hawk the Loogie spat?
yes, like,
Did one of them.
yes, like instead of, he was like going in for a hug and she's like, puh, and like spat, like spit on this dude.
Wow. Okay. Just like an animal in the wild. That's her defense mechanism.
And for her, that caught her off guard because she's never seen her child do anything.
Oh, that was a very abnormal behavior?
Yes. And so I think she just kind of like brushed it off that day and was just like, okay, maybe, a 3-year-old's being a 3-year-old. I don't know.
God, you can get away with that at 3. There really should be one day in the United States where you can act like a 3-year-old. Adults can act like 3-year-olds with no repercussions.
There's some that do.
Every day.
And so every time since then, whenever he's around, her daughter will just be apprehensive. Like she doesn't want to go and say hi. She'll try to like run or hide behind her. And she'll cry sometimes. And she just noticed that whenever that guy's around, her daughter does not like him.
Done.
And
Bye.
so that's a sign. That's what she's thinking. She's like, is this a sign that I should, leave him? Or is this, I should just let it be because it's just a 3-year-old?
Has she brought other men around before that the 3-year-old has been cool with?
Yeah. This is the first time that's happened.
Really? And he's never done anything as far as like, in her perspective, to be spat on.
No. She thinks he's a great guy. Like, there's nothing wrong in their relationship or anything like that.
Does
so
he have kids?
No, he doesn't have any kids.
So maybe
At
he's
all.
just stiff around kids and she's picking up on that awkwardness because he doesn't quite know how to handle a toddler.
And you never go in for a hug with a toddler. Like if you're a strange man and you're meeting a toddler for the first time, like you ask if you can give a hug, you just don't go in for a hug.
So I'm just confused because, like, I think she maybe, I was always taught that you listen to kids, right? If there's a little kid acting a certain way, I was taught that that's the sign and you should run for the hills type of thing.
That was just the opposite of my house. Kids get no vote, no say, no vote, no nada.
Haven't we had people on the show call in before and have ditched who they were dating because their pet didn't like the person?
Yeah.
So why would your kid be any different?
Exactly. Okay.
My gut tells me that you should listen to the kid, right? Like that just makes sense to me.
Right.
But it also feels like if a person has done absolutely nothing wrong and been such a good individual to you and you see no red flags, to just stop talking to them because your kid spit on them kind of seems a little off.
Like my fiance's daughter, she's just shy naturally. So when I met her for the first couple of months, it was like she was attached to Tiffany's leg, right? And had Tiffany taken that as a sign, then we certainly wouldn't be here now. But sometimes they're just awkward and shy. And
They are.
she didn't spit on me.
That's, yes.
That might be coming.
You're missing a key component here. It's one thing for kids to be shy and to be a little withdrawn and like attached to the parent. It's a whole other thing for them to spit on a person, especially when that's not her typical behavior.
So, okay. Now I'm wondering if she stays with him, does she just not bring him around her daughter in hopes that her daughter will grow out of it? Like, what if they stay together for years and then
I'd
she's
say
like,
just the opposite, naturally. I'd bring him around just so she
Get acclimated.
understand this is a person that's important in my mom's life. And maybe once she gets more comfortable in that 3-year-old head of hers, 3-year-olds, they're not real smart, that she'll come around and start to feel more comfortable around him.
And she's 3, and I'm assuming that she's able to like speak and articulate certain things. And I know they're still like their little brains are processing stuff and they don't really like emotions are still difficult. But has she sat down with her daughter and like been like, can you try to explain to me like why you spit on him, why you don't like him?
Well, probably the first lesson is don't spit on anybody.
Spit on people.
There's that.
I don't think she's had that conversation.
I think she needs to have that conversation and not in like an accusatory way, but just be like, hey, is there something about blank that you, I wouldn't even say that you don't like, but what do you like? Get her opinion. Be like, so what do you think about blank? What do you like about him? What do you not like about him? And see if she offers anything that may like opened her eyes to why she's feeling so apprehensive around him.
She might have just felt like he had dry skin and she was helping out.
You think eczema is a reason to spit on people? No.
Sean, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show. Hi.
Good morning, guys. First mistake by this young lady. She introduced her kid, well, the two of them, introduced the kid when you really don't even know if this is somebody you want to be with. Case in point, my current wife and I dated for a year before I introduced her to my kids. And the reason was I want to make sure I want to be with her. She wanted to make sure she wanted to be with me before we start introducing other people that are going to be important to our relationship. Now, here we are 18 years later, and my daughter absolutely loves my wife, calls her mommy, short for stepmommy. And my son absolutely adores her. And they're grown now, but the point is they introduced the kid into that situation way too soon. I also agree with Kristen that going in for hugs with a kid when you first meet them, that is creepy. You shouldn't do it. You make the child uncomfortable, and then right away, that uncomfort doesn't go away. Should she abandon this relationship because of the child? Honestly, maybe. Because you guys made a mistake and introduced the kid way too early into this relationship.
Good call. Thanks, John. Appreciate you, man. See that? Nobody spitting on each other in that? That sounds pretty healthy right there. Okay.
The Bert Show.
So, first, thanks for watching. Second, you like what you just watched? That just scratches the surface. Get the Bert Show on any podcast platform. We're so good.